as you can tell, I'm a big fan of Benjamin Franklin. We're going to use him as an example of time value of money. When he died, he left in his will equal amounts of money to the towns of Boston and Philadelphia, but he gave them a caveat. The caveat was that they couldn't spend the money for 100 years, and then they could only spend half the money and deposit the rest of the money for another 100 years. He knew the magic of compound interest, so let's look at that problem. NIPV, PMT, and FV. Number of payments, interest rate, present value, the amount of the payment, and the future value. In this case, he died in 1790, and the number of years was 100. And let's just guess the interest rate they were able to get at 5. And we're going to just compound it annually, although the number would be bigger if we compounded it daily. The present value, we're just going to use a round number of, say, 1,000 at the time would be dollars, or maybe British pounds, doesn't matter. 1,000 here, he's not going to add to it, and we're looking for a future value. So we simply turn to our financial calculator. We obviously clear, and then second, clear time value of money. N is 100, 100N, enter. And then the interest rate we use is 5%, and the amount was $1,000. There is no payment, and we simply compute future value. $131,501.25. So $131,501.25. That's our future value 100 years into the future. So if we look forward into 1890, we still have another 100 years, 5%, and the present value is half of 131,501, so we simply divide by 2, and we find we can do that easily by hitting the equals sign to clear the register, change the sign from negative to positive, and then divide by 2 equals, which is $65,750.62 is the present value at 1890, and of course there's no payment, and now we're looking for the future value. So we enter $65,000 into present value. It still recalls the 100 in the N, the 5% in the I, payment still 0, so we simply compute future value. And that's 8.646,290 and some change. So it's about $8 million. Now, obviously there's some variability in this, so we don't know the actual answer, at least I don't. I don't know what the interest rate was, I don't know how often it was compounded, and I don't know if he just started with $1,000 or not. However, you can see that starting with a small amount of money over a long period of time ends up with a great deal of money. The other thing you can see in this problem is how easy it is to calculate different situations and find out information and run different scenarios in your own life. So if you think about giving money to, say, your grandkids and telling them they can't spend it until they retire, you could easily put them in a position to have a much better life in their future. The other thing you could use this for, of course, is education funding. You know, instead of 100 years, if you start with 18 years when they're born, the investment return, the amount of money you put in, maybe you add some payments, the same calculation would give you a future value for their education funding. So from Benjamin Franklin's will, we can run multiple calculations, and this is just an example. So let's do some more examples.